Hey everybody, Justin from BRH here. So we started this series last week on deer hunting and preparing for season and some of the things to consider and what I do personally. So last week we talked about scouting, getting a pattern down of where the deer are going, and finding those hot spots that they're automatically attracted to, whether it's food, water, bedding source, all those things. So after you've done all that, you found out where the deer are going, the next step is to place your stands in a spot to be successful. There's many different things to consider when you're placing a stand. Some people like to put it on the edge of the woods and be right near the corn or the food source where the deer are going. Others like to put it in the woods. I have stands personally at both different locations. Both have their advantages and both have their challenges. So I like to have the option depending on the day of where I want to go. Either way though, if you know where the deer are at and where they're going and you set yourself up in those areas, you should be good. One of the things to consider is just maybe not put your stand too close to where they're bedding. If you have somewhat of an idea of where they're bedding at, you do not want to do that. You don't want to blow your cover going into your stand. That could be detrimental to your hunt that day. So once you identified that spot, there's several things to consider. So you got your spot, you know where you want to put your ladder stand. Now you got to consider wind factor. So one, depending on time of year, there's usually kind of a pattern of where the wind's coming from. Utilizing that data to understand, okay, the wind's coming from the north, let's just say. You don't want to put yourself in a spot where you're maybe facing south, the wind's coming in, blowing your scent right into the path of where the deer are going to be coming and walking up. So you want to use the wind to your advantage, set these stands in a way that you got different options for different days and different winds, and then making sure that you utilize that stand on the day that you should be based on the way the wind is playing. So that's one thing to consider. Another thing, if you're a bow hunter like me, is setting your stand up the proper direction. Especially if you're right-handed, you want to make sure that you have your draw. You got a nice, easy movement to your left. It's a little hard if there any other direction. If you set your stand on the wrong area, you got to stand up and try to turn and shoot. Now, I've had to do that before, but one, that's a lot of movement. You're going to probably blow yourself, not always, but even if you're not, it's just difficult, stressful, and something you don't want to put yourself in if you can avoid it. So if you're left-handed, vice versa, you want to be making sure that you can look to your right. So next thing to consider is you want to have some nice shooting lanes. So most of the time after I put up a ladder stand, I clear shooting lanes. Once I get up in the stand, identify, okay, I'm looking at the pattern this way, this is where I think my shooting lane should be. I go and cut them out and make nice wide shooting lanes, but I make sure not to cut too much because you don't want to blow your concealment. So you want to make sure you're still hidden and that you're not going to have all those trees that are going to be blocking the view of the deer from you cut out, because it just makes it a little bit easier to give the deer an advantage over you. So next thing is just make sure you get that all cleared out, have nice open shooting lanes, set yourself up for success there. So the other thing you can do is start creating mock scrapes. This way you got bucks coming in the area, got them interested in these mock scrapes, and they're probably going to set yourself up during the rut in a good spot. So that's one thing to do. Before season, make sure it's well before 2 weeks. You can set out some blocks, whether it's mineral blocks, salt blocks, whatever you want to utilize with your camera. That way you can get an idea of what's coming through and everything else. But make sure 2 weeks before, if you're in Nebraska anyway, 2 weeks before season, pick that up. If it's not gone, it's illegal anytime before then. Plus you don't want to bait them. So I think I mentioned that in the last video, but that's something to consider. So those are the top tips that I have for you as far as setting yourself up for success. Once you got your ladder stand up, you can get endless with some of the accessories that help make things easier, whether it's your bow hanger. Of course, you're going to want to have an eyelet maybe, and that way you can click your harness to there easily, or if you want to wrap yourself around the tree the way the harnesses come with the ropes, then that's fine too. So just different things to consider. So we've gone through the scouting, we've gone through setting yourself up to be prepared and successful. Another way to solution other than ladder stands too are ground blinds, and I've utilized those as well. So there's sometimes in a spot where it's a little rough to put a tree stand, or you just don't have the right trees, or maybe you're in a good spot where you think ground blind's going to be taking an advantage, then feel free to do that, and that always works out too. So I've also done that. But those are some of the things I consider. Those are the things I've been taught. Hopefully those are things that'll help you out. If you think differently, let me know. I want to know what your thoughts are and what you guys do out there. So, and one other thing, last week Big Red Hunters launched our website. So if you like this hat that I'm wearing, this leather patched hat, it's genuine leather on there, go on our site, bigredhunters.com. You can pick one of these up there. Also, we've got tumblers, we've got coolers, we've got lanyards, t-shirts. Love our t-shirts. The designs that we had done were just what we think are pretty cool, so I think you guys would love it. We also made it easy for you to customize your shirt, so you can choose what shirt color and print color. One of the tumblers too that are on our site are like these 30-ounce Big Frig tumblers, so we really like these. We got 20 ounce as well. We got pink, we got Tiffany blue, black, so go on over there and check it out, and we appreciate any support from you guys. We're not out here to make all this money. We're just out here trying to pay for some of our hobby and hope that maybe we can go on a trip once in a while. So anyway, appreciate it. Hit subscribe, hit that bell, comment. Look forward to doing the next segment of this video. And again, if you have any questions, let me know and I'll respond to you. Thanks, guys.